Ole Miss uses some, let's say, well-played baseball to go through and ended up eventually wearing down Central Florida and taking the series 2-1 from the Knights down in Orlando. This is the post-game pod on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome to the post-game pod right here after the Ole Miss Central Florida series. Thanks for tuning in. Full disclosure, I'm recording this in the bottom of the ninth, so I'm not exactly sure the score. Ole Miss is is up 9-1 at the moment, but I do want to thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. Make sure to check out Locked On Bracket Breakdown March 14th right here. On the Locked On Ole Miss podcast feed and YouTube channel. College basketball experts Chris Gordy, Andy Patton, and betting expert Lee Sterling give you inside, in-depth breakdowns of every matchup. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to do anything. If you hit the bell, you'll know when it shows up, and you can look at it here. So that's March 14th. So this is a game, it's been an absolute war on Friday. It was an absolute war on Saturday. And eventually, UCF just did not have the depth that Ole Miss has, and Ole Miss was able to push through and kind of get to him a little bit after the starter had to work so much early on in the game. But him being able to do that and all that happening allowed Ole Miss to get to the bullpen, the Sunday bullpen, and this offense to be able to do some damage. Today they had 15 hits, scored 9 runs. They're, like I said, they're up 9-1 now. Dylan DeLucia has been absolutely fantastic. We'll talk in just a second I don't want to nitpick, but maybe Sunday's a little bit in jeopardy as a starter. Drew McDaniel needs to step it up a little bit. His strikes to balls ratio was nearly 50-50 today, and on a Sunday, free passes are suicide. Free passes will absolutely get you beat. And luckily today we were playing against Central Florida and we weren't playing against Tennessee. We weren't playing against LSU. We weren't even playing against Auburn. But Central Florida got a big win yesterday. But that game is probably my game of the weekend for Ole Miss because the question this season was about how Ole Miss would pitch it. And Ole Miss absolutely got into a pitching war yesterday. And if the offense would have woke up at all, they'd have had a chance. They gave them a chance to win. They answered that question in a road environment at Central Florida. So congratulations for that. But 2-1, a series win in Orlando. The weather is perfect down here, by the way. Today about 83 degrees, a little bit of breeze. It's pretty nice going on. So I'm really impressed with where this team has been. We're going to have on Tuesday Derek Vandegrift to talk a little bit about this series, and I look forward to Oral Roberts when that series happens. I think Tuesday and Wednesday are like 85% chance of rain, so that's the midweek, and Friday's like an 85% chance of rain. So knowing that, this extra baseball that we played this weekend was probably a positive. So I'm looking forward to what's going on. Reagan Burford, 3 for 3 today. Had an RBI. Hayden Dunhurst, 2 for 2. Banks Tolley even went 1 for 1. Kent Alderman went 3 for 4. He was replaced, I think. Calvin Harris replaced Ben Van Cleve, but Calvin Harris went 2 for 3. Van Cleve went 1 for 2. The top of the lineup is where a little bit of the struggle was. And Peyton Chatagnier went 1 for 4. Justin Bench, 0 for 3. Jacob Gonzalez, 1 for 4. Tim Elko, 1 for 5. TJ McCants he was probably the player that had the hard day today. And he went 0 for 5. Drew the collar with, I believe, a couple of, 4 strikeouts. It just wasn't his day. So, man, I do love March Madness, and I love those brackets, but I can't remember the last time I actually went deep or won any money. I'm hedging my bets this year with Stat Heroes NCAA Pick'em. Stat Heroes NCAA Pick'ems pit star players against each other in an amazing hybrid between fantasy and sports gambling. Take back control from those handicappers that always seem to have the advantage. Start focusing on the players you know best, and with the gameplay that doesn't rely on big spreads, long odds, or funky props, Stat Hero gives you the advantage of resulting in gamers winning 4 times more often. Why? Because Stat Hero eliminates the mystery about who or what you are going up against. So, sign up for free right now at stathero.com/lockedon and use promo code LOCKEDON for 100% deposit match. That's stathero.com/lockedon. Use promo code LOCKEDON for 100% match. stathero.com/lockedon, promo code LOCKEDON. Terms and conditions apply. Also, March Madness is only a couple of weeks away, and that means you need to start thinking now about where you're going to run your brackets this year. Are you going for the usual, or are you looking for the best? We've done our homework here, and we're running brackets with runyourpool.com. Along with the standard brackets, Run Your Pool offers game types like Survivor and Pick X, both pretty fun in their own way. So if you got a business, use Run Your Pool. It can help you take some of that madness magic, play alongside your employees, or even gain customers. Clearly, we believe in Run Your Pool because, like I said, we're running our brackets there ourselves. There's no truer test than that. If you want to play against us for a shot at a cash prize, join us at runyourpool.com/lockedon. And while you're there, create your own pool for friends and family. Enter Pure Madness at checkout for $10 off that pool. All the rules and details will be available there. That's runyourpool.com/lockedon for your chance to win a cash prize. We look forward to seeing and beating you there. So, Ole Miss just finished up. 9-1 victory in Orlando. The series is final. My concern is the Sunday starter. I do not like that split of 50-50 essentially strikes to balls. Free passes are suicide in college baseball, as we all know. And you really need to kind of fill up the zone on that day. So maybe somebody like Hunter Elliott can step up and do that. Maybe Jack Washburn becomes that guy. I do not know. We have a couple of weeks to figure it out. We have in 2 weeks Auburn and SEC play starts. And Oral Roberts is this weekend. So we have time to get it right. And Drew McDaniel can still fix every problem that I'm seeing that he's having. But it'll be interesting because SEC season is about to start. And remember, every game you lose is a little bit of the margin of error for a national seed you lose. So this game today was of vital importance. Last year, with Ole Miss number 1 in the country, Central Florida came into Oxford and took 2 of 3. This time we go into Orlando, take 2 of 3. And honestly, with our bats just kind of messing up on Saturday, we were that away from being able to potentially sweep that series. I do think Saturday was the big game of this series, even though we lost that game. I know I talk about winning and all this, but that answered a question. And it was a question that everybody was worried about and a question that needed to get answered before SEC play. And that is, how can they throw the ball and how deep is this pitching staff? And we might have a little bit of front end issue. The Friday night guy leaves a little bit to be desired. The Saturday guy leaves a little to be desired. The bullpen has been nails thus far this season. And Dylan DeLucia just had an absolute day. Let me read you his line real quick. 4 innings, got a save, 1 hit ball, 6 strikeouts, 13 batters faced, 51 total pitches, 37 strikes. I mean, that's nearly 4 for 5. Strikes. So that was a big win. This is a big series win. I do want to thank everybody from Central Florida for watching the video. As this goes on, you're probably not going to watch this one because of the result, but thank you very much. We do appreciate it. And if we ever play again, we ever meet again, I do look forward to meeting some of you guys. So Ole Miss, a 9-1 victor over Central Florida. The winner was Jackson Kimbrell. The save goes to Dylan DeLucia, and the loss goes to Hunter Pattison, who threw the ball fairly well. But their pitching, their top-level pitching is just really, really good. And that's going to take them a really long way. So thank you very much for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow morning for the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, where we will talk about this series. We will also talk about how the Combine is basically manufactured entertainment. And we might talk a little bit about the soon-to-be end of basketball season and where Coach O might end up going. In the tournament, think they're projecting a 6 seed at the moment. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. This has been the post-game pod on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.